Woo! I love to dance. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thursday, first Thursday of the month. Yes, at a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Figure out the time zone. I always tell people that, but you're in the right place because you're at the Diamond Perspective Panel live show with yours truly as the sponsor, Barbara J. Beckley of the Diamond Factor Network. Now, you are going to be in for something tonight. Yes. So I hope you have whatever you have in front of you, your dinner, your little, water, whatever you got, pull it to the side, get it together, because we have some amazing women, as I always say, the queens coming on the panel. Tonight's topic is going to be about setting goals. Okay, now you probably say, well, Barbara, I hear that. But no, we're talking about setting goals for what? Success. So everybody say it slowly. Setting goals for success in your personal and in your business. So we're going to touch both sides of the fence here. So I want to really welcome them in, but I have to make sure that you understand what the show's about. Because these are about queens. This is about coaches and speakers, and they're like celebrities. They're not, they're not like, they are celebrities. We're gonna put that out there because words are powerful, right? So with that, I want you to meet these wonderful people. But before we start, we got to bring it on, the Diamond Perspective Show. Here we go. And we are back, and look at these beautiful queens that are on the screen. Almost rhymed. But with that said, welcome again. We're going to get started. We do have a lot to cover. I want to make sure that you understand that each of these queens, they're going to tell a little bit about themselves, but they're going to, at the end, they're going to give you how to contact them. And I'm putting out a plea to say, please contact them, because after you hear what they have to say and how they shine, you're going to want to work with these wonderful queens. But I need to introduce, I'm going to let her do the introductions, but we do have a queen that is going to be facilitating tonight our panel, Mrs. Christina S. Shanti. She is her home show coming out soon in January 2024. This little plug, Harvest and Beyond. So, Christina, I'm going to let you take it away, lady.
Hey, ladies. I'm excited about tonight's topic. Aren't you all?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's bring it. First of all, thank you for showing up for this awesome panel, for this awesome discussion that I know we're about to dive into. If we can all just take this time to introduce ourselves, starting with the beautiful Miss Jacqueline.
I'm a professional clairvoyant psychic, award-winning coach, and I train people to develop their intuition.
All right. And America's super mom.
Trying to get that mute button. I am a mother of 15 children, and I'm passionate about raising awareness and normalizing the conversation around depression so that others have strategies to avoid this lot in life. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, well, welcome, America's Supermom, and the beautiful, extraordinary Miss Barbara Ellis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barbara Ellison. I'm founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. I work with people so that they see that their future, that your future you, that see yourself through that, is the best person. This is going to be a great show tonight. I'm so grateful to be here.
So am I. Miss Barbara J. Beckley's in the house, the president of Diamond Factor Network, who has just so eloquently put this panel together, the Diamond Perspective panel. I am your facilitator for this evening. My name is Christina S. Shanti. I am a wife. I am a mother. I'm a pastor, and now the host of the show, Harvest and Beyond. So I'm excited. Let's dive into this topic tonight. Ladies, tonight's topic is about setting goals, and not just any goals, about setting goals for success in our businesses, but also in our personal lives. The thing about setting goals for success in various aspects of our lives include personal, family, and business. Somehow, some way, they always correlate. And it's a critical endeavor that can lead to fulfillment and prosperity in setting those goals, whether you're aiming to improve your well-being, which is what Barbara Ellis talks about, is improving your well-being, strengthening your family bonds, or just achieving personal milestones. Goal setting provides what? A roadmap to navigate life's complexities along with the challenges. So with that being said, ladies, let's dive into this discussion. All right. The first question for tonight. I was talking to Barbara Ellis right before the show started, and she got my wheels turning because she said something. And I'm not going to start out with the first question that I was going to ask, but the question that I'm going to start out with is, have you met your business and personal goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of this year? We're going to dive right into that, Barbara. Would you like to take that first?
I can do that. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. One of my things for this year was to get myself so much more organized. I tend to be that, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this, but okay, yeah, and then I've got so many things on my plate, I'm doing nothing. And so this year, at the beginning of the year, it was like one of my big goals, and it was just to get more organized, to get things that were more automated, things that I was more focused on, things that I wanted to be focused on, and let go of the things that I didn't want to be focused on. And that for this year has made a huge difference, because now I am focusing on the things that I, number one, want to do, that I'm inspired to do,
Mm-hmm.
rather than working on the things that I should do or that I think I should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that has been huge for me. And that was one of the things that I have really worked on this year. And I am loving it. And because of that, several of the things that I've been working on are now coming to fruition.
Oh
And it's
wow.
like, oh, I'm seeing it happen. Like tonight, right after this show tonight, I'm hosting another podcast for one of the groups that I'm in, and it has just been a blessing to be able to help other people and to do the things that I want to do.
Oh, that is awesome, Barbara.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Awesome. Who wants to take that question next?
I will. I think yes and no is a really healthy answer.
Mhm.
Because there's one strategy that says set minimum goals that you absolutely know that you will achieve, and then set a target goal, and then set an outrageous goal. So you go for the outrageous, and hopefully you settle for the really great one. And if not, you have the minimum goal that you did. Things happen, and in my life, I didn't expect a move, and in 5 days before the end of July, the owner of my building said, "Hey, let me show you this little house. I think you'll be happy here. Would you like it?" And he lowered the price, and he go, and I go, he said, "You want it?" And I was like, "Okay, yes." And he goes, "Okay, you move in 7 days." And I was like, "What?" And I had a booked solid schedule for the next 4.5 days. So I had to do everything in 3 days to make that happen. Got completely out of storage after 20 years. And I thought, okay, empty schedule. I'll just use this time and I'll be unpacked in 30 days. Well, 4 months later, I'm unpacked and I'm moved in. So priorities and some of the other things that for my business goals definitely got put on the back burner. And as it turned out, it was perfect timing because some other magical things, magical things appeared just like within 10 days of finishing. And here I'm like frustrating and what's going on? I need to do this and that and the other. And it's like certain times you have to let go and trust and go with the flow. But setting the intentions and setting the goals and knowing your life purpose and your mission for both personal life and professional is one of the main keys in my life. So I hope that answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is good. America's Supermom.
Yeah, I love what everybody is saying, and I totally resonate with everything. For myself, I have really exceeded a lot of my goals at this point in the year. I think the game changer for me was that I began to align my goals with people so that everything wasn't on me. And as a result of collaborating with so many different people, I have had things that I didn't even anticipate doing, but I've accomplished them. And one of the things is being a part of 2 international best-selling books. That was something that was definitely not on my radar, but just being able to align myself with people that have the same ideals and values and missions have really helped me to expand and have a greater impact for the mission that I have. So I think the game changer for me was aligning my goals to people that had similar interests. And another thing is including my family and children in my goals because they have pushed me. So it's like, if I achieve this goal, well, then we're going to go out for ice cream or, you're going to get something as a family. And so it has really helped them to be invested and to help support me for things as I continue to go throughout the year.
Oh, wow. I love what you said about aligning your goals up with others
Mhm.
whose goals align up with yours, that correlate with yours. That's powerful, America's Supermom. And what you just said about family is getting ready to transition us into my next question,
Mhm.
ladies. How do you prioritize and balance your personal life, your family, and your business goals to ensure success in all three areas?
Well, I guess I'll go since I was the
Mhm,
last one talking. For me, it is really collaboration.
mhm,
I have learned to not feel like it's my idea, but then I'm just getting people to help me with my idea.
mhm,
Since I got the mindset of co creating and connecting with people that already are motivated in whatever area they're gifted in, that has been a game changer because
mhm,
I have connected with people in my business, in my personal, and really aligning myself really a lot of times with my children. They push me about being on TikTok or something, or,
mhm,
we'll have a common goal about how many subscribers can we get this month. So I think it's really just having these people that can help support you, but also challenge you to keep moving. And I think communication is the key in all areas.
yes.
When you're able to communicate to people, hey, I've got family time, you're able to set those boundaries and priorities. People respect that. And that helps you to begin to respect it, and vice versa. So, for me, it's collaborating with the right people, but realizing that I don't have to do it all alone,
Mhm.
and that it's okay to have specific times that are set aside for business, for work, and for recreation.
Okay. All right. Miss Barbara, would you like to expound on that question? How do you prioritize and balance your personal, family, and business goals to ensure success in all three areas?
One of the things that I do is that I schedule things on
Mhm,
my the schedule, the things that are absolutely non-negotiable. It's kind of like when I like going to church, that's non-negotiable. So one of the things that I do, if I have something that I really do need to do, I agree, let's put some of the family, let them help you do it,
mhm,
let's be part of it. And I think that's the biggest things. And then for me also is letting, I think in the first part we talked about letting go of the things that we can't do,
mhm,
and quit beating yourself up. Like,
mhm,
I'm a grandmother with teenagers that are so busy that, but when was the last time I saw you? Because
mhm,
sometimes we go days without seeing each other because
mhm,
they're busy. And I really was starting to feel that, oh brother, I'm feeling like I'm a bad grandmother because I don't see the kids as much as what I would like to. But I had to realize and let go of that. That's the teenage years, now that they have driver's licenses and girlfriends or boyfriends, as the case may be, that
okay.
they don't necessarily want to spend time with Grammy.
Mhm,
And I really had to come to grips with that there are seasons in our life,
mhm.
that sometimes you are going to be closer to family and sometimes you're not.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
But
That's
that's
it.
been a tough sell sometimes to me, because I'm a nurturer. And it's like, but what do you mean we're not going to get together? And it's like, yeah, okay. So,
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Miss Jacqueline.
Well, I want to tag on to what Barbara just said, but and structure will set you free.
Yeah.
And so scheduling and giving yourself the ability to say no,
Yeah.
and not being concerned about hurting other people's feelings. When you say no, it's loving yourself enough to have that structure, and also to know when you can be flexible.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so really that's I went I'm lucky enough to be in business for myself, and I do what I love. And I have done that for the last 45 years. So for me, the line between business and personal is blurred because I
Right.
love what I do.
That's true.
So, like for example, I went up to give a talk at a church at Lake Tahoe, and then I called a friend and said, "Oh, and he says, okay, I'll come." And afterwards, he said, "Oh, I've got a concert ticket that night. Why don't you stay up and go to the concert?" So we went on a 2-hour boat ride right after the church. Ran into somebody and they jumped on board, and another friend I hadn't seen, and then we went on a motorcycle ride, and then we went out to dinner, and then we went to a concert, and it was just like this amazingly full day. And at the end of the day, I said, I felt like I just had 5 days worth of entertainment. This was fantastic. And so sometimes they just stack together, and it really was like 4 or 5 days worth of entertainment nonstop. And and I got paid to go up there to begin with because I was giving a talk. So so things blur in my life, but to honor yourself and give yourself enough sleep is really, really important for me, and getting to sleep at a certain time so I'm in alignment within a reasonable amount of time to get up at a certain time. It's just easy for me to stay up till midnight, 12, 1, 2, 3, and it's like, stop doing that. And so sometimes I actually set an alarm clock for myself of when to turn it off.
Yes.
and to shut it down and go, because I'm so excited about doing all my work. And it's like, okay, you can do it in the morning and you'll feel better if you go to sleep now. So it's a balance.
It is a balance. And would you ladies agree or disagree that setting goals in your personal life, your business life, your family, it's a mindset that you have to have and a discipline to do that? And with that being said, the next question is, with this mindset, could you provide insights into how you handle setbacks or challenges when striving to achieve these goals that you've set in these 3 areas? When you have to have that mind shift, when you set that goal one way and your mind was set for this, but then a monkey wrench got thrown in. So how do you handle the setbacks, the delays, or the challenges that hit those goals that you set in those 3 areas?
I'll take that one.
Okay.
Just it depends on why. I always try to look back at the why was there a setback? Was it something that I did that just messed it up?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was responsible for it, because we all do things that, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have said no, or I should have said yes,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the situation. So I call it, when I mess up, fess up, take the heat for it, and then go on.
Okay.
And because, yeah, you have to.
Okay, Miss Jacqueline.
I would say mine is more of a spiritual approach, and it's a matter of, it's not what happens to us, it's how we respond,
How we handle it, right?
How we respond or react. And so as I look at the disappointment, I go back to my focus and my vision of the goal, and sometimes the timing, and I just have an anticipation or expectation that I've trained myself over decades to always expect that anything that happens to me happens for me as a gift. As a gift. So sometimes it's very hard to figure out, how is this a gift? And that's where a good coach comes in, where they can help you figure it out or ask you the right questions so that you can figure it out, and to then handle it with grace and ease, and either accept it or move on to the next thing, and either way to move on.
Oh, that's good, Miss Jacqueline. America's Supermom, how do you handle the setbacks, the delays, and sometimes that may come in to try to shift those goals?
Well, I love this question because I feel like every day can be a setback.
Yes.
I still have 10 of our 15 kids that live at home. And, one of the mindsets that I have taken as a coach, as a mom, as a business owner, is to navigate through the chaos. So
Mm,
for me, I have reframed that chaos is the norm and peace is what I practice. And I think that is so important because for years, I used to just wake up every day. Oh my gosh, it's just going to be a great day. It's going to be perfect. And it's not that you won't have those days, and I do believe that a positive mindset is important, but it leaves you in a situation to where if something happens outside of that positivity, it's like a gut punch, and you
mhm,
sometimes can take a long time to recover from that. But
mhm,
if you wake up with an awareness that, you're ready for whatever comes your way, that mindset, at least for myself, has been a game changer. Because I was having these fabulous days, few and far between, right? Because
mhm.
something was always happening. You turn on the news, it was COVID or something. And it happens every day. You lose somebody. Matthew Perry passed away recently. And it's
Yes.
just something that's just, you can't always be prepared for that. So for myself, it is really just anticipating chaos, but
Mhm.
deciding that you are going to be at peace with whatever comes your way. It has just been a game changer for me.
Oh, this is deep. This is you're again, America's Supermom. You're transitioning us into this next question that has to do with transparency.
Mhm.
Because when we're setting goals with our business, within our families, you also hit America's Supermom when we're collaborating with other people.
Mhm.
How do you communicate your goals and aspirations with your family or your team members? And what impact does this transparency have on your success?
Well, I think, really being honest and clear about what you want is so important.
Mhm,
I can only say for myself, what would happen is I couldn't really navigate when people didn't see what my vision or goal was,
mhm,
or they didn't understand it. I would spend too much time trying to explain how I'm going to do it and all these different things, and I wouldn't have energy to fulfill my goal, right? Because it's kind of like talking to the wrong audience. If
mhm.
you are selling jeans that are a size 2 and your audience is an 11, nobody is buying them jeans, okay?
That's right.
They just not don't find them valuable. So I think when you are talking about your goals is, finding something that you have in common with the
Yes.
people that you're aligning with. So in my case, with my kids, they don't understand. They're like, okay, she's on the phone again or on the laptop. They don't understand the value that I may be putting out there. But if I say, hey, if I get so many sales or so many clients, then we're going to go out to dinner, my treat. They understand that. So then they become engaged. Well, then how can we help you?
Mhm.
Mom, are you on that computer? I don't see you on the computer. You need to get on there. Do you have somebody to talk to? So I think it's really kind of like um, allowing people to be themselves and
Mhm.
their momentum and energy leading them, but it's coming together as a team,
Mhm.
and I think when you're collaborating also, you don't have to be the person that does everything.
Yes.
For myself, I was like, I had to get credit. I had to tell everybody what to do. I had to be in control. And it was like, why am I having people alongside me if I'm doing everything? So I think you have
Mhm.
to be willing to let go and decide, okay, what are some things that I'm good at? What are some things I'm not good at? And trusting and admitting those things you're not good at and finding somebody who can stand in the gap for you.
That's powerful. Trusting the team that you set these goals with. And
Mhm.
on that note, we're going to go to a commercial.
Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They, like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
All right, welcome back. Hey, Miss Barbara J. Beckley, how are you doing, sis? All right, let's dive back into this conversation about setting goals in our personal lives and in our professional lives. Can you share a personal success story where setting clear goals played a pivotal role in achieving your objectives across your personal, family, and business aspects of your life? Ms. Barbara Beckley, would you like to take that one?
Why did I know you would call on me? Well, yes, I will take that one. Thank you, wonderful queen. I have to say, with changing my branding 3 years ago into really focusing on being that visibility purpose strategist that I say to be. Because I always tell people, whatever you do in life and you're going to help others, you have to be a leader in that. So you have to show, you have to put action to it. So I was telling myself, would somebody come to me and say, well, Barbara, can you help me with, my shows, or even creating a show, or even interviewing with people? Well, 3 or 4 years ago, I could kind of not say that. I could say, yeah, I can, but I had to show it. So I had to say, okay, Barbara, you need to get consistent in what you're doing. You have to show up in what you're trying to do in your brand. So that's when I started setting my short-term goals and my long-term goals. Mm-hmm. And I always start, it's funny because a coach a long time ago told me, well, look at the end, but they said, they look at the end where you're trying to get to and then go back. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I want to have a network like Oprah. And I know American Supermom could attest to that, because we all talk about Oprah status. And I said, but in order to get to that status and put it out there, that you got to go back and say, okay, what are the little things you have to do to get to that? Even looking at yourself first. So I had to look at myself first and say, what do I need to change? And I set some goals, short-term and long-term. And I feel like the whole thing helped out, because being consistent for the last, I have to say now, it's been 5 years now of having shows on a weekly basis, not just one show, but a few shows. And making sure that, I'm in it, just not just putting on a show. I see people coming back to me saying, well, I would like to work with you because I see the consistency that you have. I see what you've done. So I think saying all that made a big difference, because I did set those goals.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Setting those goals. And would you say when you rebranded, you had to pivot, but keep the goal the same?
Yes, I had to, because I still was doing my own purpose that I was thinking about, that I knew was still in me, but I just had to change how I was showing up in it, in a sense. And then some things I found out too, that I had to put some boundaries in what I was doing. I was like, okay, do I really like doing this within because visibility is a huge thing. His visibility come from, whatever you do in visibility. So I had to pick and say which things I'm going to pick under the visibility umbrella. And some things I found I didn't like to do. And if I don't like to do it, people are going to see that, how I present myself, and they're going to be like, well, you're not really feeling it, but I could feel it, I could sense it. So I had to really talk to myself and say, if I'm really not liking this, why am I putting this out here as part of what my brand or what I do? So that's what some things I had to talk to myself when I was setting those goals.
Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. That pivot and changing that goal. Ladies, can you share a personal success story where setting clear goals played a pivotal role in achieving your objectives in those 3 areas: business, personal, and family?
One of the things for myself is this year, back to this year, of getting myself organized. Okay, so what does being organized for me mean? Because like Barbara Beckley and I, we have our Time to Shine happiness show. Well, okay, so now am I getting a little bit more organized within her of what content? Like, so one of the things for me is having, like, we do part show and then we have a guest come on. Well, part of it for me was, okay, if I've got a guest that's doing this, then I want the first part of our show to kind of complement, not be the same, but to complement, so that there's there's a theme to the show. And so now, as I am doing more and more of that, I am getting known for, oh, this is what Barb talks about. And that's part of being visible and being authentic, being you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where so often people for myself, I have found that so often people try to be somebody that they're not because they think they should be that, or they think they should be this.
Mm-hmm.
No. Know who you, one of the questions that I ask my clients is, who are you within what you do? They'll tell me what they do. You know, that they do this, they do that, they do this. They've accomplished this, they've accomplished that. Okay, but who have you become within that? And so often people don't know, because they're just kind of going through the motions of doing their job. So one of the things for me is this year I've really honed in on who I want to talk to. And so now I'm creating a course for people who want to be more than what they do, to know who they are beyond their job or beyond their job description.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people don't. So that's one of the things that when you set it, for me, I've set the goal to be really knowing what that entails, what I'm going to be teaching, and who I'm going to be teaching it to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
I love
you know that,
was good.
then people are going to know who you are, if you can help them.
Barbara, you just helped me. You just blessed my whole life, because I just put that. Who am I becoming as a result of setting the goals? Because we're all ever evolving.
Yes.
Y'all, we need to give her a hand clap for that.
Yeah, that was good.
You just
Well, you know, and just to add on to that, I think it's so important because you will attract whatever it is you want to become.
Right.
You know, so this year I started off and I was filming season 2 of a show that I have on a network. And as a result of creating a community, which is what I wanted within that show, you know, for the guests that came on, we created additional content on other platforms. We collaborated on a book that went international bestseller. Well, now fast forward, I now have a channel where I have the ability to have 12 other shows on the network. And so I think it's so important when you know where you stand, people will be attracted to you. They will understand your mission and they want to attach to it, and they want to give you a bigger platform, so to speak. So you never know who's watching. You never know who resonates with what you're doing. And I think the main catalyst for that is being clear, right? Having that clarity. Because, you know, if you're running around, which I have been that way, chasing every trend, okay, I was like, you know, on this app, on that app, okay, it got crazy. But when you decide, hey, this is where I am, I'm going to draw my line in the sand, then people will be attracted to you and you'll be able to have a greater impact, you know. So
that's good. What you put out Now I want to say, what you sow is what you're going to reap.
Amen.
Yes, yes, yes. Miss Jacqueline.
I want to just add that looking at a goal to begin with is achievable,
Mhm,
believable, and measurable.
mhm.
And a lot of people do generalities of that's what I want, but they don't have by when or by how much. And so I just did a quick example. I was given an opportunity to give a seminar for a company, and it was a company called Peak Potentials, and they said, oh, just do it on something practical, and I wanted to teach intuition. So finally, one person said, well, if you want to, okay, we'll see what happens. And so I did that, and literally 5 minutes before I didn't even have a website. So my friends put together a website. As we were finishing, we worked like 3 days solid. I had very little sleep. I was working around the clock to get this thing together with the products and everything to take advantage of this opportunity. Did this seminar, and 5 minutes before, the website guy said, I'm still doing the links. What about this color, this, that, and the other? I said, just deal with it. I got to go. And going live in 5 minutes. And he goes, wait, what is your goal? What do you want to get? And I go, I don't know, like 5,000. No, 10,000. No, 12,000. Well, I gave a 3-day offer. And at the end of the first night, I got 5,000 in sales. The second night, it was 10,000 in sales. And the third night, it was up to 12,000 in sales. Now, putting that in perspective, it was like, hey, putting that in perspective, like 4 months later, I talked to the manager of the department, and he goes, what? Everybody else has made like $30, $50, $100 in sales. And except for me, and I know everyone, there were like 130 people on the call. 100 people went to the website and 50% purchased. So being really clear, even if it's the last second, but measurable is really important in terms of time and space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Miss Jacqueline, congratulations on that one. Ding, ding.
And then I went to a seminar. It was a 3-day seminar on doing what I was doing. And by day 3, I was so depressed because all I made was $12,000. And it's like, if you're not making $100,000 doing that kind of thing, then you're missing the boat. And so it's a whole, you get into different categories of expansion. When you're ready, these things come in. So it's one step at a time.
And that's a whole new mind shift when you exceed the goal that you set for yourself.
Right.
Okay. On that note, one of our beautiful, beautiful panelists has to leave us, Miss Barbara Ellis. We want to give you a time to give a quick closing and let everybody know how they can contact you, where they can find you on all your social media platforms.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm Barbara Ellison. I am on the best place is LinkedIn. Send me a direct message. Love doing that. I've met so many wonderful people on LinkedIn. But you can also see me on Facebook. And then on Facebook, I'm Barbara Lunan Ellison. That's a whole new fun story of why I was in name jail. But anyway, so yeah, for me, my final thing that is just celebrate your small wins.
Mm-hmm.
It is so important when you have set a goal, and if you have set it to your audacious goal and you're not quite there yet, it doesn't that yes, you're not there yet, but you know what? You're not where you were. So celebrate the progress. It's not always about reaching the goal. It's about the progress you've made on your way to the goal.
All right, Miss Barbara, I call that the harvest mindset. Yeah. Celebrating where you are. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for being on this panel with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
To you. Bye, Miss Barbara. Hey, and we have a new panelist, Miss Marika. Welcome to tonight's show. Tonight we're talking about setting goals in our personal life and our professional life. How has setting goals in your personal life affected your professional life, Miss Marika?
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here.
Hi.
Okay, so setting goals for the most part has definitely helped me mentally, and spiritually. And because without that, without having that solid foundation and setting goals for myself mentally and spiritually, I have a hard time with showing up professionally. And so, setting those goals has helped me to become, professionally, has helped me to become my ideal self, and it helps with my self-esteem. So I see it coming full, I see it, full for what it is, full circle. And so just, making a decision to, to take my reasoning and use my reasoning to make a good choice, then, making that decision for what it is I really want to do, and committing to that, and and saying to myself, this is who it is I want to be, this is how it is I see my life, really helps to contribute to my self-esteem, which helps me out mentally, which helps me out spiritually. And again, that it just brings everything full circle for me.
Okay, all right. Everything full circle. And were you connected the spiritual aspect to the natural aspect and setting goals? And were you draw that inspiration through faith? That's awesome, Miss Marika. Okay, ladies, in closing, what advice would you give to individuals who are trying to set meaningful goals and align their goals up with their personal lives, their family, and their businesses? But this is the caveat in this, especially for those just starting out in their careers, young families, and they just now starting out. What advice would you give them? America's Supermom.
Well, first, I just want to thank you so much for being a great facilitator. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm a note taker. So I love the takeaways because that really helps me to grow. And I love what you said earlier about evolving, because that really is the story of my life. Every day I feel like I'm changing. But my advice would be to write more than you talk. So often we have these great goals. We go around telling everybody, and everybody doesn't resonate with the message. And before we know it, the message is changing. Just so many different things happen because we're talking instead of writing. And I think when there's this space where when you write, you give yourself time to process it and visualize. So I was listening to this instructor at MIT, and he was talking about the best ways to give a presentation. And so he was saying that if you give a presentation, the best way to do it is on the chalkboard. And he said there's something about while you're writing, there's a pause that allows people to process what you're saying. So sometimes when you have slides and everything, our body can receive, our mind can receive things, but they may not process it. And so I think when you're writing, there's something about you being able to process what you're writing, and you can kind of help yourself breathe through it. Because sometimes we can get so excited, we're not even breathing, we're just ready to jump. We haven't even thought if this is making sense, or, do we have all the supplies, right? Because God says first count the cost before you start doing anything. So I think the main thing is write more than you talk. Be patient with yourself. Find people that you can be honest with. I tell people all the time, part of my brand is real, and that's REEL, like a highlight reel.
Wow.
However, when you have people who are not people that you trust around you, you get caught up in drinking your own Kool-Aid, right? Because I think we want to put our best foot forward, but understanding that there's a time and a place for that, right? That's a part of marketing. That's a part of showing up. But the real stuff is made behind the scenes. And so making sure you have people like that in your camp.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
the last thing is include your family. You know, don't beat them over their head and have them be clients for products that don't resonate with them. You know, but let them support you, right? Maybe they
Yeah.
can share a post on social media. They don't have to buy everything. So that
Mhm,
would be my advice. And thank you guys so much for having
mhm.
me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, America's Supermom, you hit my heart with that one because I'm a writer. I'm actually a copywriter and a writer, and I homeschooled my children for 12 years. So I'm that pen to paper gal.
Power
Write
to the
that vision
homeschool
down.
moms. Been there,
Yes,
done that.
yes, and I'm so glad we are out of that season. Hallelujah. Miss Jacqueline, what advice would you give to um, someone that's starting out fresh and new in business, a
Um,
young family
yeah,
about goal setting?
I would say get a professional coach to work with you
Mhm,
and pay attention to I can't or I can't afford it. A good coach can help you. Like if somebody comes to me and says, I don't have the money, it's like, okay, let's take a look at this. And I then get them focusing on how to bring in the money so that they can continue to afford to work with me so that I could take them to the next level. Not everyone in your family is capable of being um, supportive in the type of work that in this type of support that you need. Also, when you're looking for a coach, there's different kinds of coaches, some that tell you what to do and some that ask you questions that lead you to the answers. And
mhm,
to a really quick example, there was somebody I worked with, one of the longest coaching clients I've worked with. Usually it's a year, but this went on for 9 or 10 years. And by the time she was 36, she retired financially free and then went on to do other things. But the last 4 years, she says, "Oh, I finally don't have to go into corporate." She raised up into a major position of national sales division, in charge of sales for a major corporation, Fortune 100 company. And she goes, and wouldn't you know it, I don't have to go into the office, into the corporate office anymore. And as of next week, and I went in today, and my boss, you know how I feel about her, said, I've got it. I'm retiring. Would you like my position? And we just redone her goals. And that was not in the goals. And she goes, ha, ha, ha. And I said, well, I know how you feel about that position and about your boss, who's kind of given you a lot of grief over years. I said, but if you took that position, would you be able to take your values and your concepts and transform the department? Or would you have to conform to the way it's run now? And she goes, that's a really good question. I don't know. And I said, it is a good question.
mhm.
She meditated on it for a week. She actually took the job. Took her 3 years to completely transform, but she impacted so many people's lives because she transformed that entire department of a major corporation.
Mhm.
And then she was able to retire financially free. So sometimes asking the question, being flexible to be able to change your goals at any particular time. They were still in alignment, but it took it to a whole nother level.
Mhm.
So having a goal, having a coach that is neutral and is seasoned at what they're doing, and you have to interview the coach really, really well before you commit to working with them.
Mhm.
So that's
All right.
just
Thank you, Miss Jacqueline. Miss Marika, in closing, what advice would you give to a new business entrepreneur, a young family, someone starting out fresh and anew about setting goals for themselves?
Okay. I would tell a new entrepreneur, somebody starting out, new family and business, to submit their plans to God.
Mhm.
That way, I mean, there have been so many times where I've tried to, start different businesses. I mean, I've done so much, from selling hair extensions to selling juice out of my trunk. So, I mean, there's so many different things that we can get our, that we can put our hands to, without including the Most High. Everything seems like a good idea in the beginning, and you find yourself staying up all hours of the night, taking notes, watching videos, doing all this stuff to to try to make this idea come to life. But when you really, you sit down and you fast and you pray a little bit and you take time to submit those plans to the Most High, that's when you find that He'll start to introduce you to people and and put you in rooms with people who can help you to grow the skills that you need to grow in order to serve the people in a way that pleases Him.
All right. That part right there, submitting those plans and those goals to the Lord God Almighty. Ladies, this has been an awesome, wonderful discussion. And we just got a few seconds left. Can you guys quickly let us know where we can find you on the social media platforms and where we can find you? America Supermom.
LachelleAtkins.com. That's my website. And I'm on all social media platforms. Thank you again for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Jacqueline.
Intuitionpower.com and or Jacqueline spelt the way I have it on the screen. I'm on about every LinkedIn, Facebook, et cetera, YouTube.
All right. Miss Marika.
You can find me as joyfully_chosen on Instagram. Or you can email me at ExodusEffect with an A 144@gmail.com.
All right. And I'm going to close out with this sign that I kept seeing behind Miss Jacqueline. Believe you can and you will. So let's set those goals and let's reach beyond. Ladies, you all have a wonderful night. Miss Barbara J. Beckley, thank you for this evening.
Well, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next month. First Thursday of the month. Just want to remind everybody the Diamond Perspective Panel. And always remember to shine, because your uniqueness is so important for others, because you're reaching the world, you're saving lives, and you're a lighthouse to the world. Take care.